I was hoping that we could make it to this timed portal, but between my own forgetfulness and the fact that we got that mark trap and are running into all sorts of friends, I'm not exactly confident that we will find that in time. Never mind. I am dumb and silly. Fantastic. Well, let's drop a few more of these things just in case we find the goods in there. The Hat of Pondering. I'm a sucker for this. I know it's basically a trap. In almost every situation, that slowed movement is very likely to get you killed. But I gotta say, the willpower, the defensiveness of the +3, it's always tempting to me. Let's see what we're dealing with in our volcano first, shall we? Is it ocean? Lava lake here? Looks to be something along those lines. I mean, fortunately, we do have the fire resistance, and so we should do all right here. In fact, I'm tempted. Let's just double down on that front. And then hopefully, yes, even with the barbs, I think it's worth it for us to just hop down here real quick. 32% chance to paralyze you is actually much better than I expected. But we can pop down again, and that will give us the right setup here, the right orientation to be relatively safe as we finish off that fight. Did have to use another potion of heal wounds, which we are very, very quickly running out of, but that is fine, as we are hopefully just about through the thick of it here. And thought I'd see how our throne was doing. Actually fairly well. Getting some nice preliminary damage on our buddy here. Holy moly. So +2 chainmail of fire resistance. I mean, I picked it up. I doubt we'll actually be using it. It's at least worth a gander, worth checking out. Same, I guess, with the hand cannon. We could at least bring this out of here in case we decide that that's an avenue that we wish to take. But for the moment, we'll just drop that son of a gun. Drop it like it's hot and all that good stuff. Holy. Well, never a dull moment. Oh, we do have a few more ID scrolls, so I'd definitely like to pop through all these sons of guns. I was looking for a brand weapon, would have been pretty huge for us. Of course, acquirement is always just a fun little lottery, roll of the dice, so I was hoping for that, but it is what it is. We'll see what the future holds. And so yeah, I'm not going to switch into the Hat of Ponderousness, I don't believe, while we are here. But I'm keeping it around, because when we go back to Orc, that could be a half-decent time to resist the paralysis effect from the sorcerers. Or yeah, later down the road, when we're desperately looking for some willpower, then we could find it in our best interests to explore that as an option. So Hydra. Hydra is actually something that, even though it's at this stage of the game where I keep kind of denying the usefulness of the Foxfires, look at that. No armor class on a Hydra. So I could use it now. I mean, it's tempting to keep the PD around for some fiery armor down the road. But since I should actually be able to kill this buddy. We have half-decent armor class. We do have a fire axe, albeit not a great one. But once this thing starts losing heads, that's going to be the least of our concerns. I could even try for a lucky paralysis there. Fantastic. Just because it had 8 heads, thought it may be prudent to play it a little bit more safely than I otherwise might. And that is fantastic. Our Reflection Amulet, not doing a whole lot of work to help us out there. I guess we don't have the highest shielding score in the first place, so fair enough. And this is very quickly looking to be fairly untenable, so I'm going to read a teleport. That will plop us out into what ends up being more danger. So that's not great. Fear Scroll, oh, doesn't do much. I kind of forgot that our one friend is unfazed. I don't have any more healing. So that is less than ideal, as the kids say. 50% chance to paralyze you's alright. I'm curious and rolling through the numbers in my head if the blink out of this little area's worth it. We'd be going into the unknown, which is never great. Maybe I just take the 50% chance. That feels painful to do so as well. So let's just hope there's not worse for wear out here, and so far it's looking okay, though the main issue now is that this son of a gun can hook us, so we'll work to prevent that. And then, with the paralysis in full effect, holy moly, get the job done. So yeah, the Fear Scroll, I kind of forgot the amount of crawlers are not affected by that, so not the best move that I've ever put forth, which is saying something. But hey, we got out of there in one piece, and so let's, instead of commiserating over the mistakes that I make and have made in the past and will continue to make in the future, if we're being honest, let us instead just focus on the positive side and move on with our lives here. Best revenge is a life well lived, is what they say, but those people don't know about getting an orb and reviving your fading gods, so I think that's going to be our best revenge, really. How many heads do you have, my friend? 6 heads? I'm willing to make that work. Swap over to our fire axe. We can just get a couple of hits here. Perfect. Few enough heads that it's not a problem. In fact, we do just manage to kill it in the meantime. So that is wonderful. You know, I should be softening up with boomerangs. In fact, let's take a peek. Our throwing did get up to 8. Shields are almost up to a pretty solid score as well, so I think I'm going to divert some more experience back into throwing so that we can have a character that throws instead of just always me throwing the runs. Am I right, folks? But okie dokie. Fortunately, the rest of the herd here seems to have spread themselves across the level, so it makes our elephant friends a bit more manageable for us to deal with, which is fantastic. Should go back to the stairwell as we continue the fight. Okie dokie. Ooh, finally get heal wounds back. Hopefully this time we manage to retain that for an appreciable few moments here instead of immediately just burning through our consumables like we have found ourselves doing as of late. And the rough part there is that this is supposed to be the part of the run where we're in conservation mode. We're saving up those consumables for later on when Ignis will be of no help and we'll be struggling with the greater horrors that lie beyond this early part of the dungeon. But hey, I guess it is what it is. And we'll somehow make it work. At least that's the hope. If you kids keep pushing me into defensible positions, I don't mind that one bit. So we'll pop here. In fact, I maybe should have just put myself into this corner down here, but all worked out, so nothing really to complain about. We're just about through with Lair, at least as deep as we'll be going for the time being. Actually, no, let's check out Lair 5. A lot of enemies here shouldn't be too bad for us to deal with. The elephants are unfortunately, well, not being a terrible enemy for us to fight tete-a-tete, they can push us off the stairs, which is as good as a death sentence in the context there. So holy moly. Yeah, those sky sharks can be a right nightmare for sure. As soon as they get that double hit and they're in full bloodlust mode, very quickly can shred even a pretty defensible character like the one we're playing here today. But doing nothing else on that stairwell. I was gonna say seems too scary. But a dislocation trap sending us off into the ether, now that is potentially a problem. I mean, so far, nothing we can't deal with has come our direction, so thank our lucky stars for that, small miracles, all that good stuff. Holy moly. Well, 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 let's actually definitely take a sip of the drink, because I've been denying myself that so far. Brain's not functioning. Trying to work out even that sentence was trouble. I mean, those of you watching this later down the road through the VODs won't be aware, but as some of you in the Twitch audience may already know, I was quite late starting today's stream. And a huge part of that is, I mean, I've gone back into reading. I used to read a whole lot and loved it. Took a pretty big break and just recently got back into it, so I was enjoying that a whole lot. But the issue is I was sitting on the couch in the sun, and that is a quick way to send me directly into nap territory. So I fell asleep and only woke up a wee bit ago, so brain is still a bit in full fog mode from that. Hopefully doesn't impact our attempt here too much. Though again, it's not all that different from how I am on a daily basis, so not the end of the world. But Guardian Serpent being taken upstairs is pretty preferable. That sounds awesome. It was indeed pretty awesome. I mean, I was unhappy because, I don't know, it's Sunday, so I feel like any time I spend, even if it's something I enjoy doing, I always feel like I'm wasting my time. It's like the last little gasps of freedom before the busy week begins. And so napping falls under that. Again, as much as I love the concept of napping, I do always find it to feel like a waste of time to me, regardless of how accurate that may be. But I think it probably is a good idea for me to focus a bit more on the positive sides, because a cat nap in the sun, I mean, I can never really decide if I'm more like a lizard or a cat, but what it all boils down to is I catch a stray sunbeam and I'm almost guaranteed to be out like a light for the next while. But okie dokie, so far Snake has been actually a little bit scarier than I was originally hoping, which is not a great sign. Perhaps I need some more willpower. I mean, everything here is already slow, so if I slow myself down, there's maybe some kind of logic there. Makes it a fair fight. Oh gosh. Shock serpents are also going to be a problem. You know what? I believe I may have made the wrong decision here. I think I should probably actually head into Shoals. At least with our reflection brand, we can hopefully do some decent work in defending ourselves there. Not so much on this side of things. Sunday scaries indeed. Yeah, our Sunday scaries. Oof. It is what it is. At the end of the day, it's not even that relevant, because even if work is busy, I mean, it's not my entire day and I still get my evenings, and I felt like today I was getting a lot of like chores and work done anyway, so how is it any different from tomorrow morning? Not much is the answer, but it is funny how the human brain works in that way. But yeah, okay, man, I'm in the same boat. I love the Hat of Ponderousness. I try to listen to people better at the game than I, who claim that it's a death sentence, but what can I say? I can't help myself sometimes. Holy moly. McLaudel. You know what? I'm gonna be back, my friend. See you kids a little bit later on, because why don't we head back out to the regular dungeon instead, shall we? I mean, sure, some things almost killed us the last time we were here, but that all seems fairly preferable to the situation we were just finding ourselves in. Hello, Francis. You're also kind of a problem here. Especially since I was not meaning to polymorph you. I thought we still had some paralysis charges on that key. Whoops. But let's, I guess, blind you and then just hope we can output enough damage to get most of the work done. Or you can reflect your own spell directly at you and fall victim that way. That works too. Ooh, and what scrolls have we not found? Definitely not Acquirement or Brand Weapon. Butterflies, Silence, and Summoning. And all rare, so equal chances of these four, slightly less chance for Acquirement. But interesting, interesting. So, you know, we're not in Lair. I'm going to put down my Flaming Axe. If we see another Hydra outside of Lair, we can probably deal with it using throwing weapons. So I think I'm alright with making that change in the here and now. Let's definitely wait out the corrosion. Oh me, oh my. There's the Paralysis Wand. I will actually take that back in favor over the Polymorph Wand, just because I don't see us really using the Polymorph anyway. And hey Hydra, how's it going? Oh my gosh, and another Hydra. To what do I owe the pleasure? Of course, as soon as we throw away our Fire Axe, the game makes a bit of a fool of me, but that's totally fine because fortunately the thrown weapons are enough to deal with any problems that come at us from that direction. And then I'm hoping we can find like a regen amulet would be pretty huge, specifically because we know that Donald is carrying a reflection kite shield, so chances are we'll be making the swap over to that at some point. The little mini vaults entrance here. Definitely interesting. Well, I think we should be all right here to just finish off the encounter. Wonderful. And then the fire crab could be a pain. Nothing else here is really that detrimental to our continued survival. So we'll just drop in for a quick trip. I should have actually maybe taken a peek. I don't know where all that damage came in. Maybe these humans are actually hitting harder than I give them credit for. My Minotaur came down in full confidence that puny humans could do nothing to them. It's a humbling moment, at the very least. Yeah, because apparently it wasn't the ugly thing, seeing as how they ineffectually slapped their wrists in my general direction there. Interesting. Okie dokie. Definitely a little more manageable coming at things from this angle, and then we can hopefully just find some of that crew wandering about. Okay, there we go. Cold-themed enemies, still a bit of a problem. But should be able to take them down a peg before losing our very life, so that is wonderful. Ooh, and then a Cloak of Poison Resistance. I mean, I don't currently need the poison resistance, but a +2 cloak in its own right is worth the changeover. So let's get rid of the Scrolls of Noise for now, even though I guess we'll be dropping our old cloak, so I'll pick those up for the time being, with the caveat that they're likely to be the first thing that gets thrown away. I do love the Flame Starter, but I don't think it's a fit for this character here today. So we'll leave that Unrandart sitting in the store and see how we fare as we just clear up the last dregs of our pseudo vault entrance to the floor here, shall we? Holy moly, not too bad. Ooh, what about the chainmail of our effort? Do I want the regen from this ring mail? I currently am kind of sticking with the ring mail for that regen, but I don't know if it is the best call, really, for our current time and place in the world. I think there's something to be said about switching into some armor that's slightly heavier. Oh my gosh. Get a Kite Shield of Reflection without having to kill Donald for it. That's nice. Now I really want an amulet that does something other than Reflection, though. We're not really gaining much by doubling up on that. I believe it may give us the shielding score from both, I guess. So +10 shielding might actually be an appreciable change, but otherwise still will be more than happy if we can swap out for an amulet of regen. Oof. That torment definitely packs a bit of a wallop here, at least when you're not expecting it. let us just head back this direction for now. Oh, I need to check you as well. Banishment at 50%. What am I doing with my life? For the second time, we find ourselves in the lovely Abyss. Oh, now I'm on Abyss 3. That is very fun and cool. Why do I do this to myself? Okay, a bunyip. I don't like that it makes that much noise, but otherwise, this is an enemy that we'd likely be fighting at this point in our journey anyway, so that's fine. Let's train a bit more. Oops. Train a bit more Evo, shall we? And then maybe I turn fighting back on as well. Let's just get ourselves nice and healthy, shall we? Oh, not too many mutations, please, my good sir. Would be so kind. Okay, definitely taking a bit more damage than I would like here. Potentially what we need to do. So let's drink a potion of might. The Lig is not going to do it because I don't want to be stuck without being able to approach our other new friends here. Fiery armor does it a little bit, but we're mainly dealing with these sons of guns, which I'm not actually sure how effective armor is against them. Okay, that may have gotten us out of the hotspot for the briefest of moments here. Holy moly. Not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but we're somehow, once again, holding ourselves together just barely. Okay, what is the invisible thing coming our way? Oh, Ghost Moth, maybe? Oh no, Alora Proca, or whatever we should call you. Yikes, down to 55 health again. I mean, we shred through the Star-Cursed masses a little bit faster than the last time we found ourselves in this configuration of events, so that's nice. Okay, and then we're just gonna have to wait out quite a few turns as we get locked into the eternal corridor here. This is just our life now. Hello? Abyss? Could I get out? Oh no, you've just made it smaller. That's cool too. Oh man. Just hundreds upon hundreds of turns? Nothing? I mean, I don't really want to read a teleport scroll. This is the first time this has happened to me this badly. Okay, we finally get escape, and it's into the waiting arms of just, oh, so many enemies. Oh my gosh. Okay. Executioner has got to go. First and foremost. Perfect. Not looking good, I'll say, folks. Definitely not the, most fortuitous of situations here. I have 1 heal wounds I can drink. I'm trying to think, wondering how many turns ago now we read the teleport scroll. Is it going to get me out of here soon? Unfortunately, the delayed teleports in the Abyss are a pretty huge factor in our ability to functionally use that as an even partial escape. Oh no, that unfortunately does us in. Oh, man. So we knew that there was the wizard there, the occultist, I believe they're called now. So I probably should not have been sent to the Abyss a second time in the first place. But that is still quite the shame for a Theseus here. Oh me, oh my. Got quite unlucky. I mean, at the end there, a little bit. Abyss 3, I would say that that's not too far outside of the realms of my expectations. So I'm happy to instead take some of the responsibility there for not switching into the willpower against the occultist. Of course, like the first time we got sent to the abyss on that character, it happened way faster than I thought possible. They of course immediately decided their first move against me would be to send me on a one-way trip to our favorite place. But hey, it is what it is. My bigger issue with this is the timing of ending it here, because again, this is definitely going to have to be quite a short stream. I wasn't expecting this short. Do I want to start another character though? I guess we could at least get the ball rolling a little bit. It's just that I usually like to leave any characters that we begin at a half decent stage in the run, kind of end of layer. On the normal length stream, usually having 2 runes in pocket is nice, but anyway, that's all just logistical nonsense from my end. And at the end of the day, all you probably care about is whether we jump in again or not here.